Hello, this is Tim, and this is a video response to Tetsubu's video dealing with generating D&D stats. And he's basically talking about how he is in the point buy camp and how there are random dice rolling camps that want to do things that way. Lefty wants to say hi. um, so, what camp do I fall in? For a long time, I was in the point buy camp. I really liked the idea that everyone had the same amount of points and that everything was, pretty fair. But in recent years, I think I've kind of gotten away from that. And I think the main reason why is people having stats that they always dump in, that they always put the lowest stat in, that they always ignore. And if you ever play, well, I'll give you an example. I was in a group that pretty much followed the same ethos, I guess, as random dice versus the point buy, and they were in the point buy camp. And I wanted to make a character that was different. I wanted to not put the optimal stats in the places I was supposed to for my class, or and for my race. And I actually kind of got a lot of flack for that. They were like, "Why are you putting, I don't even remember what class I was. Let's say I was a fighter. Why are you putting like a 10 in your strength set? That's stupid. Why would you ever do that? Why is your charisma higher than it should? Why are you smart? You shouldn't really be that smart." And it just made me think that, it's my character. I can put him wherever I want, first of all. And two, it's like if you don't optimize, or, you don't push your character all the way to the limit that it's supposed to be, that's somehow viewed as bad role playing. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. And as things move on, people seem to want to optimize their character more. They want to break their character more. And that just turns me off. I don't like that. I don't want to try to find loopholes and rules and try to take like the best combinations of things. That's not me. That's not what makes role playing fun for me. So, okay, I'm getting kind of long-winded again. So I'm definitely in the random dice roll camp now, because I said I used to be a point buy guy. I love that. I used to make like coming up with a character and having a big long background, and you can still do that with random generation stats. And I think I even like, I'm not sure yet, because I'm like I said, these are new waters for me. But I think I even like the 3d6 roll straight down. And if the GM doesn't like that, they can do 4d6, drop the lowest, roll straight down, 5d6, whatever, depending on what you think you want for your game. And I'm recently reading over an AD&D Player's Handbook book, and there were 6 methods of generating stats, and I thought some of these were pretty interesting. The first one is the 3d6 roll straight down. Second one is roll 3d6, you times it by 2, and then you roll 3d6 straight down, and then you roll 3d6 straight down, and you pick the best set. So basically you roll 12 dice, or 12 times, and see what you like. Then there's 3d6 and then a range. And I think it really is the arrange that I don't like. My cat's attacking my computer. I think it's the arrange that kind of pushes things too far. There's a recent video where the Outsiders was talking about Pathfinder, and if you maximize your stat and take the right combinations, at first level you can be pretty powerful. And in my experience, that also happened in 3.5. That if you had really high stats and you took the right combinations, you can be very powerful at the beginning levels. And I think I like a more of an early game feel, especially when I'm playing a fantasy game, where you gradually increase in power. You don't start out right out of the gates. I guess I kind of like that progression, like like in Star Wars, you follow Luke. You know, he's just this little farmer, and then he eventually moves on to great heights and destroys the Death Star. So I kind of like that gradual progression, and I don't really like starting right out of the gate as a very powerful, heroic fighter. Um, and even when I was in the point camp, um, I didn't like that either. It's just me. I don't know. I like playing characters with weaknesses. I think it makes them more interesting, and it gives them something to overcome through role playing. Uh, I think we get a lot of our character as people from our weaknesses. And yeah, some of them suck horribly and they're really annoying, but at the same time, I think we're better people because of it, because we have overcome those things. And as role playing characters, I like that as well. I like the drama. I like uh, the difficulties that life or the game can throw at you, and how you have to overcome those problems, overcome those weaknesses. And what ways can you be better in other places to make up for it? But there's all kinds of different methods here. You can roll 3d6 12 times, and then you just pick the 6 top ones. This is all out of AD&D Second Edition. 46 and a sign was in AD&D, and they did have kind of a point buy system where all your stats start at 8. You roll 7 dice, and you have to add all the pips on the dice to one stat. But you can add multiple dice to one stat. So it couldn't be any like overflow. So if you wanted to get to 18 and your pip was like a 6 and you basically had to even out right at 18 to get that. So 18s were still kind of hard to get, at least a little bit more hard to get. But there's lots of different methods for rolling dice, and if you find yourself somewhere in between these two camps where it's like, well, you like to be able to customize your character, but you don't want to have 18s in the stat or 20s in the stat that you really want, because maybe you find you just think that's kind of too powerful or too over the top. You can kind of mix and match things and come up with your own ways. Maybe there's a way to roll dice and that's different than these that you've used for a long time, and I don't know, I'd like to hear about those. How do you generate stats? I'm going to be starting up a Labyrinth Lord game soon, which is basically the basic and expert retro clone, and I'll be running it once a month, and I'm going to have them roll dice for their character. Still haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do, if I'm going to do 36 in a row or 46 in a row. I think I'm going to have them do it straight down, though, and see what happens, because I've never actually done a campaign like that. So we'll see how that works out, but I like the idea of someone being strong and intelligent, or they have high constitution and they're very charismatic. And random dice rolls, really, if you look at your stats, they should be kind of a portal into how your character role plays. You don't have to do that way. I tend to do that way, but as Zerk83, he's the one who just did the Lamentations of the Flame Princess. He said that you really don't have to play as dumb as your stats are, and that's perfectly legitimate. You don't really have to. You are a player in the game, so however you play the game is how you play the game. Because I don't want to be a stat Nazi where I'm like, oh, your intelligence is too dumb to ever come up with that. But I don't know. There's different camps on that as well. But I'm definitely a random stat guy these days, and I think it comes down to balance and not wanting to break the game right out of the gates, and you just see what you get. On the negative side of things, that might not be as fair. Not everybody has the same amount of points, but at the same time, maybe you shouldn't let that bother you. If you're going to roleplay your character and enjoy roleplaying that character, what's the difference? What does it really matter in the grand scheme of the game? I think my cat likes hearing me talk. She always comes up. But yeah, so I was in the point buy camp, and now I'm in the random dice roll camp. And I'll talk to you guys later.